It is exactly 9:47 a.m. and we're going to be wrapping up with our final interview of the morning. We'll be talking with Lebanese news producer Ibrahim Zayat, and we're talking about blood on the border. Israeli forces killed a woman as the Lebanon ceasefire hangs by a thread. And let's hear what Ibrahim Zayat has to tell us about this situation. And I do believe that it's not an isolated situation. It's probably ongoing, and the horrors do seem to be continue as far as the Lebanese people are concerned. Assalamu alaikum to you, Ibrahim Zayat. You are talking to us from Beirut, and please do welcome to the show. And thank you indeed. I do know that you're going to give us some absolute eyewitness accounts on what is happening on the ground in Lebanon.
Walaikum salam. Good morning, all. Uh, Today is the last day actually of the Israeli presence in South Lebanon. As you mentioned yesterday, one girl have been killed by the Israeli occupation soldiers in Hula village. She was younger than 18 years old, and the Israeli army didn't allow the Lebanese army and the Red Cross to enter and get out her body. They also medics for a few hours before also releasing them. All of these were trying to enter the Lebanese village of Hula that was still occupied by the Israeli army until this morning. Actually, this morning, the Israeli army withdrew from all the remained occupied villages, the six occupied villages: Hula, Mes Jabal, Blida, Farkela, Daisy, Wazene, and others, but they are still occupying five what they call strategic hills inside Lebanon to ensure their security between two quotations.
Have they indicated when they will withdraw completely? And in the meanwhile, it seems as if they are hell bent on causing as much destruction as they possibly can whilst they are withdrawing and where they are still occupying. Uh, would I have summarized that correctly?
Yes. Actually, this is the real issue. They didn't put any time limit for their presence in these five hills or five mountains. They are on the outskirts of the Lebanese villages, but they are still Lebanese territories that are occupied by the Israeli army. It's very obvious that that these hills are still occupied with an approve of the U.S., which should have to be a mediator, but it's obvious that they are a very big supporter for keeping the Israeli occupation of these hills in the Lebanese territory. The Lebanese government was very clear that they will not accept any Israeli presence, but Israel, by violating the international law, by using the force, it's very obvious that they will keep their troops and their forces inside the Lebanese territory as they announced before.
So the areas that they have withdrawn from, is it now relatively safe for the people to return to those areas? And the areas which they are still occupying, do you believe that they will eventually withdraw and then it becomes once again Lebanese territory, or do you believe they want to claim that as part of Israel?
Regarding the part of the safety for the people, till now, in the past few hours, the Lebanese army started to enter these villages. We can't know yet if they will be totally safe. It will be based on the Israeli behavior. They were very hostile in the past few days. Even in the villages, they withdrew from them before. So it will depend on the time to know if it will be totally safe or not. But as long as the Lebanese army is entering these villages, we can theoretically say that it should be start to be safe. Regarding the Lebanese points that they are still occupying, and they are not accepting to withdraw from. I don't think that they will announce that there will be Israelis, but at least for now, they claim that these are Lebanese points, but their point of view is that they should stay there for their security and not to allow Hezbollah to take these strategic hills again, because these hills can take a very good side on the settlements in the northern Palestine.
Of course, it's a very strategic area, is it not, to be based
Exactly.
on those hills because you have really a clear view of what's happening in the valleys and so forth. But that being said, let me just share something with you from a statement, a press statement that I've got here. Hezbollah leader Naim Qassem said in a televised speech on Sunday that Israel must withdraw from all the Lebanese territory that it has occupied. And he goes on to say that there can be no excuses, no 5 points, or other details under any pretext or any title. This was the agreement, he goes on to say. However, we also, Israel, apartheid Israel has responded as follows. Their decision came after Israel alleges that Iran was sending cash to Hezbollah via civilian flights and said that it would use all available means to stop it. So, can you correct that narrative, please?
Yes. To be honest, Iranian cash has nothing to do with occupying land. These are the total Israeli lies that we are used to. Sheikh Naim Qassem, leader of Hezbollah, Secretary General of Hezbollah, was very obvious, and not only him, even the Parliament Speaker Nabih Berri, who was an ally for Hezbollah during this war. His political party also participated in the military defense of the villages. And they were all very clear that as long as there is Israeli occupation to Lebanese land, Lebanon and people will still have the right to defend themselves and to use the resistance as a tool to uh, to liberate their land. And this is even mentioned in the international law. We don't need anyone in the world to uh, to look at us as terrorists or not, in case Lebanese people believed in the resistance as their only way to liberate their land. In case the Lebanese government will be under the pressure of the U.S. of the American pressures to be to what I call uh, uh, not looking very well to these villages. We know that U.S. is not a real mediator. They are a very big ally for the U.S., and they will keep pushing and pushing and pushing to find excuses for Israel for keeping these 5 points. Till now,
No,
Lebanon is very clear that there is no excuse for Israel for keeping 5 points and occupying them. Let's see if it's up for the days, but at least for now, the Lebanese point of view is very obvious in not agreeing with US and Israel about this.
sadly, we also understand that the outgoing deputy commander of the UN peacekeeping force in Lebanon, known as UNIFIL, was injured on Friday when protesters attacked a convoy taking peacekeepers to the Beirut border. However, Qasim of said Hezbollah was against that attack on UNIFIL. He also criticized the Lebanese army for gassing protesters who gathered peacefully on Saturday. So, what is the story here with the Lebanese army gassing its own people? It seems as if they actually working in collusion with Israel.
Yes, what happened on Friday was highly condemned by Hezbollah and Amal, its ally Amal. They even said that these protesters on Friday who attacked UNIFIL, they have nothing to do with both Shiite parties. But what happened on Saturday is that Hezbollah called for a peaceful protest on the airport road. But what happened that army used force to disperse these protests. Uh, the army's point of view or the government point of view that there is a political decision not to close any roads, especially an important road like the airport road. Hezbollah says that there was no need to use force. In all cases, Hezbollah was very clear that Lebanese army shouldn't be aside, and again they insisted that there's no need to attack the army. And Hezbollah, even again, they put a distance in having any issues with the army. So I think this kind of relation between Hezbollah and army is kind of regulated very well on the political side. At the end, the Lebanese army has nothing to do with politics in the Lebanese politics. It's an army that totally uh, just do what is asked for on the political level by the government. As everyone knows, now we have a new president, there is a new government, and even Hezbollah is part of it. So it's all under the Lebanese political game and its regulations between political parties.
You, to wrap up now on the interview this morning, let's hope and pray, inshallah, that the apartheid Israelis do withdraw completely, even from those 5 hills that we referred to. Once that happens, is there not a fear, perhaps, that there'd be a clash of ideology between Hezbollah and the Lebanese army, and that there might be internal fighting between the two factions and other factions as well, because we know there are very many different splinter groups within Lebanon?
This is, to be honest, highly unexpected. Any clash, Hezbollah never, ever in its history entered in any clash with the Lebanese army. That never happened before, and nobody is expecting it to happen. Because as I mentioned, all of these issues and so on are totally regulated under the Lebanese uh, political game. Hezbollah is part of the parliament. Hezbollah is part of the government. Shiite ethnicity is part of the army. So at the end, how far there was they were very apart in the political view. This will never because Hezbollah on the military position, Hezbollah negotiate very well with the Lebanese army, and they keep on the cooperation in terms of cooperating.
Are you confident that once Israel pulls out completely, that the Lebanese people would start holding hands, working together, and rebuilding all of the carnage that was caused by apartheid Israel?
We all hope, to be honest. Israel has been always for me, for many of us, we always believe that Israel has been always the real issue in Lebanon, the real issue in destruction, the real issue in war, the real issue in assassinations and destroying part of the countries, as happened in the past 2 months of war in September, October, and November. We have seen destruction that has never been seen before in Lebanon. So I hope as long as the Israeli withdrawal will happen, we will have all of us as Lebanese a chance to rebuild our country and to be in a real political challenge away of any uh, Israeli interference for the favority of any part.
I know this is a very difficult time to bring up an issue like this because you're not quite sure what tomorrow holds. And being a neighbor of Palestine, we know the horrors that has been perpetrated on the people of Gaza and even in Jenin and other areas of Palestine. But US President Trump has suggested that he wants to clean out Gaza. He wants to send people to Egypt, Lebanon, and other countries in the Middle East, and he wants to create a Riviera where once Gaza stood. What's the feeling like of the neighbors of the Palestinian people, like you, the Lebanese people? Do you feel that that it could become a reality? And of course, if ethnic cleansing happens to the Palestinian people, if they are ethnically cleansed out of their land, nobody in that region is safe, are they? You could all be ethnic cleansed. Am I right?
I believe that it's the first time in the history of Arabs that all of us agree that this couldn't even be a plan. You know, it's a very obvious example on the American way of thinking toward the world and the white supremacy of, okay, guys, we can move you on from place to another, as if it's a property they own. This will never happen. It's a property. It's a land for people. It's where they belong. And Hezbollah was very clear. The Lebanese government was very clear that nobody could accept such a plan. There was a big support for Egypt, Jordan, and Saudi Arabia, even that were in talk that was in talks before with Israel for normalization. But now, even after Netanyahu's comments that they will that there's no that they can go and make a Palestinian state in Saudi Arabia. It's very clear for us, for everyone in the Arab region, the Israeli hostility in dealing with the whole region. That we can move Palestinians, we can kill 50,000 people, and no one uh, uh, can do anything with us. And this is the mentality that everyone in the region, I believe, we should be dealing with seriously in a united political power, and even at some point in a united military power, because this madness has no place to end. They are occupying lands, and in Syria and Lebanon they are doing crimes in West Bank, and nobody is looking even at. And we all saw the massacre that happened in Gaza, and the occupation and so on. So it's the past 1 year and 3 months was a very real example about what Israel is really is, and how it's.
Ibrahim, talking to us from Beirut. You are a Lebanese news producer. Thank you indeed for weighing in on these issues for us. Lots of du'as from us here in South Africa for a very peaceful Ramadan, inshallah, and that
Inshallah.
peace does prevail in, in Lebanon, Palestine, Syria, and all around in the Middle East. Thank you
Julie,
once again. Keep us in your du'as as we keep one and all in ours. Go well, and salamu alaikum to you.
thank you.
5 after 10 o'clock, and that means wrap up time for me. Thank you indeed for your company on the show this morning. From me till next week, Monday, as always, take care on the roads. Assalamu alaikum and Khud Hafiz.